This is Sonia. And again, we are covering another segment with Maaz here from Consensus at CoinDesk. So, Maaz, why don't we start by telling something a bit about yourself, right? How did you start your journey in the world of wild west of Web3? And we are in Austin at this particular occasion. And what excites you and keeps you building and investing in this world of Web3?
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me and give some insight and share knowledge of whatever I have accumulated over the course of years. A little bit of my background, I come from a financial and tech side, fintech side of the world. I've been into the banking consultation, management consulting for over a decade. And then I transitioned, I've been into blockchain since 2013. Then I went more deeper into like myself an investment side and helping other companies and startups within the Web3 NFT space as well as DeFi space as well since 2017. And since then, I have advised multiple companies and I've invested myself in multiple companies as startups. So that's what I usually do actually. I'm an investor in Web3 companies and advisor to startup companies, try to take them to Series A and B and then exit. Um, and then now we are creating quite some ecosystem within the space with multiple companies, helping them doing some strategic partnership because the space, as we know, Web3 space right now is where you need a lot of partnerships, right? It's just a new space and everybody wants to have something that they can achieve through other people. So I think the best way to do is to have some good strategic partnership in the space. So my focus right now with all the companies that I've invested in, try to connect them together in some way or form, and then also help the Web 2 people come into the Web 3 space, right? Because that is what would drive the future. Um, and yeah, so that's how I got into the Web 3 initially, starting from 2017, more detail.
Thank you, Maz. As Maz obviously has a pretty good 30,000, 40,000 feet overview of the entire industry too, right?
Right.
Considering you've been investing in a few different verticals and horizontals across Web3. As one of the things that Maz said was about partnerships, strategic partnerships in Web3. So Web3 marketing is very different from our traditional Web2 marketing where it is a dog eats dog world out there. In
100%.
Web3 marketing, the one thing that's been my mantra always is, replacing the sea of competition from the Web 2 world by sea of collaboration. And Web3 principles are built on the foundation of creating enterprises around communities, and collaboration is a big piece of it.
100%.
Now, Maz, you spoke about what we could probably talk about, given your background in investments, is how the Web3 investment scenario has changed.
Mhm.
And entrepreneurs who are looking to come into the area and build in the area, what are the things that they should be focusing on? So, if there is someone, a builder building for the next 5 years, let's say, right, what should they be focusing on?
Sure, definitely. Great question. I think I tell people right now that we are still not in Web3, right?
Yeah.
So my point, and I've given multiple speeches into quite conferences about Web 2.5.
Yeah.
So I tell people that we are Web 2.5, which in other terms is that there are Web 2 brands out there. They want to be in the space. How do you bring them, right? So the process of bringing the Web 2 people into Web 3 is what I call it Web 2.5, because not completely, whether it be any dApps or metaverses and everything, right? Not everything is in the Web 3. You are still using a lot of it in the Web 2 environment.
Can I ask you this before we move ahead?
Yeah.
What is your definition of Web3? Because we all have such varied definitions of Web3.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, for I would say from general public perspective as well, right? That let's keep Web three into like it's more of a decentralization, right? So decentralization is one of the big chunk. That is what Web three is all about. Now there are ways. How do you get these? Are you completely decentralized? Are you 100% decentralized? Are you 50% decentralized? Are you 70% decentralized? Are you 10% decentralized? So there are different categories of decentralization because brands who are minor decentralized or have minimum functions or features, they still call themselves as Web3 brands now.
Yeah, because
right?
they are getting geared up for Web3.
Exactly.
And also achieving 100% decentralization is a bit of a far-fetched goal at the moment because you don't even
Sure.
have decentralized infrastructure that's mature enough to build enterprise
Right.
applications on.
So I think to answer your previous question about what the builders or the entrepreneurs who are coming into this space should look like for look for, I would say still focus your stuff. If you have the idea of Web 2, don't give it up, because now you are seeing that trend is going towards Web 3. It will take at least 5 to 10 years to
Yeah, at
completely,
least a
like, even
decade, I
be
feel.
right, to
Yes.
be adopting that, right? So folks still do the Web 2 version of it, and then transition that into the Web 3, right? Because now you have the users that are already using Web 2. They are very familiar with the Web 2 environment. Maybe you can add a wallet connect functionality. So now you're Web 2.5, right? That is a transition. And then you launch maybe the token side of it if you are getting into the token side, right? So that's the
And then
transition. And
getting on a fully decentralized infrastructure is probably going to be the last
correct,
milestone if you're
correct,
not there.
correct, right? So, and that's also a transition for users, right? Because the users predominantly uses still Web 2, right? Now, how do you have them come and move into this environment? Because has to be an education segment to it, which I think you are doing an amazing job with that, educating, bringing people from Web 2 to Web 3. So that is a very important thing for entrepreneurs that are coming in there, or the brands that are trying to be in this space, that you, before, besides the education sector, you won't be able to. So most important component would be that you need to have that education aspect within your company or environment, or you collaborate with someone that helps you come into this space.
That is right. So, collaboration is key to unlocking the potential of Web3.
100%.
You have a fund. Do you want to talk about what is your investment thesis? You said that you take the funds to Series A, Series B, but do you start investing pre-seed, seed? So, what
Yes,
stages
yes.
do you invest in? Probably, if you want to share, maybe even the check sizes, if you want to share that
Yeah,
information,
sure, sure,
and
sure.
more importantly, the verticals, especially in Web3, that you're looking to invest in.
Sure. So I think what I was saying about Series A and B, that's my exit actually.
Right,
I
got it.
exit then.
Got it. Yeah.
But my investment starts actually, I invest in early stage startups.
Okay.
So friends and family rounds, pre seed, seed, I do until seed, and then try to exit by Series B.
Got
That's
it.
my investment thing. I mean, there are a couple companies that I would be keeping it because it's a long term portfolio for that, for sure. But as far as my
What's the name
investment
of
is,
your fund again?
so right now, I do angel investment.
Okay,
I
got
do
it.
angel
All right.
investment, and then I've partnered with a couple of the VC firms that we deploy to multiple companies that I want to work with. Like for example, for nonprofits, we would deploy their fund because they're our partner funds, right? So we will deploy that. Like,
Maz, do you help entrepreneurs
yeah,
find an angel, find a lead investor as well?
yeah, sure. So we do have um, funds that was launched actually 2 days ago. That is actually giving out the grants, right? So all the people who are building, whether you are building in Web 2 space or whether you are building in Web 3 space, um, we are providing the grants for that. Whether you are doing some research, we are also providing grants for research. And then if you're creating any dApps, metaverses, there is funding for that as well. So our partner company that is a layer one blockchain company, it's Firechain, they deployed their $50 million fund.
Got it.
So
All
that
right.
was announced in our event, which we did in consensus on a day one. That's where the $50 million fund was announced.
Got it. So, guys, again, we have Maaz Memon with us, and Maaz is an angel investor in the space.
Yes.
But also, if you are looking to probably get some advice on what next to build, you can get in touch with Maaz. Maaz, do you want to just share your socials, or
Yeah.
how can probably investors? Do you also look for LPs to invest in the fund? Like, whom would you like to connect with, and how can they connect with you?
Yeah, sure. So there are a couple other funds that are going to be opening.
Okay.
Actually, one of the partners, which I think a lot of people already know, Michael Turpin, he just opened $100 million fund.
Right.
He's a godfather of blockchain. He's a very
A
good.
big name personality, Michael Chopin. We have met him a couple of times, as you guys remember.
Yeah, so he usually attends most of our events, and he's like, we are partnering with him in Coin Agenda as well as Bit Angels and a few other things. There are a few things in pipeline as well. So that's one, and then another 10 for the small funds. There is another $10 million funds that's going to be announced within a week time.
Got it.
So if the other LPs are want to join, please, more than happy to connect that. There's another $150 million fund that is being announced in Dubai. So for the Asian market and for the Gulf market, that is, if people want to connect, whether you are an LPs, VCs, I can help facilitate that as well.
Got it.
And as far as for the
Entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs and everybody, yeah, feel free to reach out to me. My LinkedIn is Maaz Memon, where you will see that. And then my Twitter is Daddy Maaz. Yeah,
A
that's from
proud
the
dad.
friend.
Yeah.
And then my Instagram is Maazi, Maazii. And yeah, I think those three should help.
Well, thank you again, Maz, for your time. And again, guys, this was Maaz Memon, and we were coming live from Consensus. It's been a lovely 3 days of great conversations and just learning more about the ecosystem. Again, thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you
much,
for having me.
Maz.
Thank you.